Welcome everyone, it's Vapors to Drakenbar. It's time for some more Raid Shadow Legends. Last time, we were doing some crazy stuff. I'm going to be continuing the madness. We're going to be doing Tag Arena, because I've got to polish off all these tokens. Because I've got to get some points. And this is about the fastest way to top up my points. Along with helping out Queen Eva. I'm going to have to go spend my arena tokens in addition. Because, you know, points. Anything to get points. Because at this point, I'm in a very bad situation. How bad of a situation? It's probably up there as one of the worst clan situations I've ever had to deal with. I don't really know how it's going to impact my popularity, which is already... It's rising, but it's still pretty bloody low. It pains me to say it, but yeah, I still want more subs and views because it's still painfully low, and I'm still working. This reminds me, I should probably make a dupe Kale this clan war, but then again, Purgator is also alluring. I hope you see why. This one I do want to do Stagnite as my as one of my 6 stars, because Stagnite has a lot of important implications, especially for faction wars in arena. So yeah, I mean, I've got to clear out these tokens. Let's be honest here. I'm not gonna beat about the bush. I need to fight as many players in Tag Arena as I possibly can with my extermination squad to try to just, because this is gonna be the fastest form of points I can get to try to minimize the losses, because that in the end, that's what I'm trying to do. Minimize the losses and the blame. I mean, it's still fortunate that I get to compete in this stuff at all, because I'm trying to explain some stuff. Because well, it's not like I'm not going to do Elden Ring later today. I probably am. I just want to try to get this stuff done before the reset happens. Because this is like... Tag Arena points, especially because of the ×2 event, are probably the best free points I can get. So at least I can get the clan milestone rewards. And I'm glad those exist, because that's literally all we're going to get. Because 2 members decided to wail out on Clan Wars extremely hard, so that kind of destroyed my chances of any other form of victory. As well as the fact that my first account had an absolute disaster when it came to RNG. If you didn't watch that, go watch that. I got enough rares to make a lot of other whales just like walk away from the keyboard on that account. Like, literally the amount of rare, and they're not even good rares, like the worst form, the absolute worst form of rare attacks that you could ever imagine. That's what I had to endure. So yeah, it was not pleasant, because that amount of rare attacks basically set the tone for the rest of the tournament. that amount of rare attacks coupled by the amount of the enemy team's success basically caused a terrible disaster that I'm just trying to clean up some of the pieces. Which sucks to admit, but that's exactly what I have to do. And I have to try to invite more members because I need some new members that are willing to actually play the game. Because I actually do play this game a lot off screen. Believe it or not. Cleanse it off. Peril him. I don't even know if I want to fight some of these, because some of these have some high tier champs in it. Okay, so where are we at with advanced quests? Doom Tower stuff. Let's do the basic bosses, because I don't know. I like showcasing these. It gets my mind off of the main problems of this squad. Although free-to-play friendly, does involve Apothecary, which I didn't get on my other account, but my other account has a different exotic version that I can show. Because it ended up getting different champs. You don't necessarily need Apothecary, but you need some form of heal. Because this boss hurts a lot. And if you do not have a heal or a shield champ, one or more, with like a cleanse, you're in for a very painful time. Because every debuff you put on the boss comes back at you. Worse still, the boss puts more and more debuffs the higher it gets with its Skybond stacks. Thankfully she resisted. It is a Griffin. Granted, I have more Griffins where that came from. I have an actual Griffin champion, in a way. Well, at least the closest thing I have to a Griffin champion is Cleopteryx. Here's some other Doom Tower bosses. I don't know. I just want to do a variety with this one. Here is one type of team you can run on here. Kale isn't the ideal DPS, but he'll do. Now, there is a number of ways I can run this. I don't know. I felt like I should complete these quests. If that makes any sense. Because if there's any time I should try to complete these quests, it's during Clan Wars. If that makes any sense. That, and I'm not confident also in how much further this account can go up Doom Tower. So, the main thing here is to try to get a provoke on the boss. The reason you want to try to get a provoke on the boss is it prevents the boss from using some of its worst skills. You kind of want to provoke this guy no matter what. Even if it ruins... Well, you want to provoke him or decrease attack him. Because the problem is, especially on the higher difficulties, this boss, because something of a nightmare, I a nightmare that no one really wants to face. Yeah, see that provoke a decreased attack? Is that what you want? I'm going to have to increase the accuracy on them and their buff chance or whatever, because again, you cannot afford to have that mess up. Now, there is several methods to beating this boss. And I might show... Well, I guess I could show this and Eternal Dragon. I don't know if I could beat Second Griffin without Ninja on here. The main use of Ninja, I will show Ninja, but I'll also explain it, is his main use. His main use is to DPS rampantly. Now the problem is, while like DPS rampantly in an ascending fashion, the problem is he actually takes relatively good gear to defeat Celestial Griffin on higher difficulty, so I'm going to have to resort to a new strategy to deal with him. Sanguinia is particularly useful in this boss fight, as she prevents... she is able to throw the poisons back onto the boss to prevent the boss, like to try to throw some of the boss's DPS back at the boss, because the boss can't, like this Nether Spider, the Nether Spider cannot tolerate a lot of poisons on it. Now, the Nether Spider is not my greatest challenge during this tournament. No, my greatest challenge is that someone on the enemy team got a lot of legendary and very powerful champions of some variety. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I can definitely tell you, based on what I saw, it has to do with multiple legendaries hatching of some variety. I can't tell you who. I can only tell you that it was a legendary. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you any other details, because the game just does not tell you what legendary they hatched, only that they did hatch one. Which hurts to say that I've only managed to hatch one, being Queen Eva. Still a decent, but in terms of Clan Wars, hatching multiple legendaries is usually preferred over quality. Which, it's kind of a clash. It's kind of a clash of, like, my clash of ideals of, you know, quality of a legendary over quantity. Like, let me put it this way. Even if I pulled, like, a Noble on this account, or, like, a Jin Wan, or some really terrible legendary, because it's a legendary, even though it's actually a terrible champ, it would still count. Like, they could have hatched a whole bunch of Jin Wans, and it'd be completely useless for anything except the Clan War, but because it's a legendary, it gives them the Clan War lead. That's my point. That's the dumb thing about valuing all legendaries equally that are non-dupes. Likewise with epics. Like, they value the Chani at only 1,000 because she's a dupe epic. But if I got a unique epic, even if it was like a Woad Painted, one of the worst epics in the game, it would still be worth more than the than the other ones. Anyway, it's a pretty dumb system. Now the way this boss works is it likes to put your skills on cooldown a lot and also lock your skills. And the higher difficulty it gets, the more this becomes a problem. And it also does increasing amounts of damage. So on the higher difficulties, stuff that heals with if its cooldown skills are locked, and stuff that can fight if its cooldown skills are locked is recommended versus this boss. Razin does okay in this regard. Magnar's okay here, but he's not. This is not one of his better bosses. One thing that's good though is that resistance is useful because you can his lock cooldown skills can be resisted. So there is that. So that's him. We're gonna go climb a little further through Doom Tower, try to make some progress with that. Thankfully, this account has a Deacon. It's one of only 2 I have that has a Deacon. But it also has Ninja. The ire of a lot of new players because none of them can get him. No matter how hard they try. Or how hard they wail. Because you can, as a new player, if you wail super bloody hard, if you wail extremely hard, you can, as a matter of fact, get a Mashalt. If you blow enough shards. But you cannot get another ninja. Hell, if you go ham enough with shards over a long enough period of time, right now, you could probably get a +4 powered Mashalt. It might take you $20,000, but you could theoretically do it. Just one of the most annoying aspects of this game is if you blow enough money, almost any champion, except for Ninja or Simple, is attainable. It's attainable. Is it ludicrously difficult? Yes. Is it ludicrously expensive? Yes. But it's attainable. It's attainable. Okay, let's first check out our quests, because I still have to use one more. I'm just gonna do it on a boss. I'm just gonna do it on this Griffin because I don't want to mess around with. I want to make sure that I get all these quests done. So at least I can say I did that for the clan, and I can say that I did my best. Because doing my best is and here's the crazy part. I do have a feeling that the next boss, if I do remember correctly, is just another harder version. Because usually what ends up happening in this one is there is like a certain like 4 or 5 bosses, and then they repeat it all the way to the top, and they just repeat harder and harder versions until you reach the top. I wish there was like some way you could get like, I don't know, more unique bosses than just that, but that's the current system. Is where they just give you 4 or 5 bosses, and then the only thing that changes. Now, the reason I'm thinking that Purgator would be good in here is because of the amount of buffs he places on you when he, like, if he were to do that to Purgator, because we only have 50 minutes to do this, which sounds like a long time, right? Not as long as you think it is. Not as long as you think it is, because I'm just saying, it's not as long as you think. It really isn't. Like, it sounds like an eternity, right?
Yeah.
56 minutes sounds like an eternity, but it isn't.
Want me to put the meat away because you're not eating?
Yeah, go for it. Oh, wait, 4 different affinities. I'm trying to remember what would that be? 4 different affinities. 4 different. I mean, it sounds like an eternity, 56 minutes, but it really isn't. It really isn't. Got the setup. Oh no, still lived. Okay. Okay. Was that, I believe? Yeah, give it to me. Alright, sell 5 artifacts. Right on it. Who we're gonna sell. Trust me, we don't actually have much time. I know you're like, really, Vaporsmith? You're over dramatizing things. The real truth is, am I? Am I though? Because these quests creep up on you. They really do. Let's do an affinity breaker for the hell of it. Crit damage 10%'s not terrible, but... Okay, 12 keys in Faction Wars. Faction Wars. So, my strategy for 12 keys in Faction Wars is a little bit whack. See, I haven't built out most of these champs. So, my strategy goes like this. And I will be building out some more Lizardmen and stuff later today. So my strategy goes like this. So I throw in my Metal Shaper and my Rosin in here. I have another Rosin for the other account. The other one is going to have to resort to me boosting up Hofaries. And then I try to go for the highest. At least it's focusing him. There's a reason why that's good. The reason why that's good is it gives Rosin time to get in. And once you increase Rosin's defense, you can see how much damage that is. Dunzo. That's the other thing. Whenever you're fighting a Rosin, try to decrease his defense and watch for increased defense buffs. Because if you're fighting a Rosin with increased defense buffs, be prepared to feel a lot of pain. Because that is basically a massive damage boost for the Rosin in question. So whatever damage you thought he was going to do, multiply it. That's the thing. That's the scary part. This buff on him makes him a lot scarier. That's why Metal Shaper is actually a great pairing with Razin. Likewise with Jareg, which is why I'm probably going to help Jareg out for Faction Wars, because Jareg is a great increased defense champ. Shields are not as important for Razin as shields are not as important for Razin as defenses. If you get defense on him, be prepared. You are about to witness a ungodly amount of destruction potentially. That's how he works. That's also why if he's in arena, he's usually an absolute menace, especially if I can go first, buff the defense, and have him go in. Yeah, most people will not survive if he manages to cut in with that defense attack. Because, as you can see, it's a lot of damage. Now, he is kind of slow, but he does go well with speed leads, because one of his biggest weaknesses is cutting in. Because he's slow, naturally. He is naturally quite slow. I'm going for the higher level Faction Wars because I know I can with this pairing. Mainly I want to get the protection out of the way. That's my primary strategy for beating this. I mean, I don't really have much Lizardmen on here other than Razin and Metal Shaper, but it will work for now. And that Jarang, I have been trying to remember. Oh yes, I have Stag Knight. Yeah, I probably should help out Stag Knight, and I will be showing that later. Faction Wars is a good source of points, though. It's not the best, but it gives me tag arena points, which leads into more points. And the problem is my lack of legendaries means that I have to go try to rely on other sources of points to try to compensate for the lack of good RNG. So that's generally what I have to do to try to save myself. The real thing I hate about this specific setup is because we've got the two Raglans. The two Raglans are going to make this job way harder than I feel it should be! Ah! And here's the thing. Here's the dumb part. Here's the dumb part. If I had him more spec'd out, this would be over by now. But because I don't have him spec'd out, I'll have to resort to somewhere else. Let's just go for this. and do this a bunch. It's just that's the problem with Raglans. Like, they'll just eternally revive unless you nuke both. It's only possible if your Roslyn has enough crit damage and defense, which my other one on my other account does. On top of that, I get stronger decreased defense, not the weak version from like Metal Shaper. I get stronger decreased defense from Jarrig, who I am going to be building out, eventually getting him to 6-star, but level 50 I think is the first big step forward. Because I can't afford to make everyone 6-star all at once. I have to choose who is important enough for specific content, make them 6-star, and then ascend from there. So that generally is what I have to do. Faction Wars is always, although it's a source of points, it's controversial. But sometimes I have to do controversial things to try to save my resources, especially during times like this, or like, you know, doing quests that increase your resources and keeping a kind of diversified portfolio of resources is always a good idea, because you can't always rely on any one thing to win you a clan tournament, except for champions. And unfortunately I didn't get the surefire. I did not get the surefire method, because the surefire method would have been to, obviously, was to the surefire method was to I'm gonna do some arbiter missions as well, to try to fix stuff, but only after I finish these missions, because these missions are about to expire is the problem. But the good news is that the missions give me points, which I need. Because right now, all of my accounts are ailing in points except for my Graphian, and even he is paling in comparison to... See, this increased defense here is not a great... it's not the best. Because having strong increased defense is far better versus these enemies. Far better. Which is why Jarrig is so valuable. It's why I'm taking him to 5-star and eventually 6-star. It's why. Because, like, Jarrig is undervalued. Because I have a Jarrig on another account, and he really is undervalued. Okay, first things first, get the block debuffs champs out of here. Because I don't need that. The fact that this whole account has apothecaries on it doesn't help me in the slightest. Okay, now that did. Get the damage out. And then we can focus on focusing down the apothecaries. Because apothecary is a major pain in the rear. There we go. So that gets me some points. Gives me an advanced quest done. Moving on. Like, I'm in a terrible situation, honestly. In general, I'm in a terrible situation. Because I have a lot of power, but it's just, it's nowhere, it's dimmed by These two especially. These two have really wrecked it for me. Okay, so I'm going to go to the other account. Well, no, I'm going to go do one of these. The 200. 200 seems doable. It's not ideal, but it seems doable. Like, I don't like to take the high player power teams on in this because it's risky, but sometimes the risk is worth the reward. With shards, after a certain point, the risk is never worth the reward. That's the ominous part with shards. The risk is never worth the reward typically once you get to a certain point. And I've reached that point pretty much. Pretty early on. Unless you're a genuine hyper whale, it's not worth it. Which, honestly, hyper whales are what this what this account favors the most. I mean this tournament. This tournament favors whales the most because it is whales that receive the best benefits. Your average player, I'm pretty sure, does not receive any nice benefits from this. Only misery. So there is that. I'm pretty sure. Because, like, if you think about it, if you really think about it, so the main person we're going to want to kill, and this is going to be non-intuitive, kill the Ugo first. If we kill the Ugo first, it's a wrap almost. Because although Cecilia does some nasty damage, it's more potent for the Ugo to live. Let's first take him out of the picture, because I don't need his locking cooldowns. And then try to fear him. Try to fear him again. Can I get my... There we go. Percussive pound. Can I get a fear on him? No. Ow. There we go. Oh, good. A fear. Oh, nice. Okay, that was a block debuffs. Like, I do not like fighting these teams. But I am often forced to fight these teams. Because I don't want to spend all my gems. Because I already spend enough gems trying to... No. This is why I hate apothecary duels. It's like an eternal struggle to try to kill one. Finally. Because neither one can get the upper hand. That's the problem with apothecary duels. It becomes the worst form of stalemate known to mankind. Oh, okay. We're going to do that. We're going to briefly blow our medals. I'm going to upgrade anything I can. Upgrade. 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 All right, we got to 150 grand. It's not ritzy, but I'm gonna have to deal with it. Pay attention to that. I still need more subs. I just do. I need them, and I need them bad. Okay, let's see how much we've progressed on here. Because I have so much quests to do. This is some of the behind-the-scenes quest stuff you don't normally see, but there's a lot that goes into it. Oh, it's so tempting to buy that ancient. Oh, the temptation is just overwhelming. Three faction war, 12 crypt keys. Yeah, my faction team is just god awful, so I don't see me really beating that in time. I just don't. Because I don't see how I'm supposed to get Hoferes. We get her a better helm than that. Yeah, I don't see it happening. Just gonna sell all this silver. I just don't see me beating this quest because I don't see how I'm gonna build out my Hoferes in 35 minutes. So because of that, and then Hoferes would have to solo that level 12 times. So because of that, and because I'm out of those crypt keys, we're just going to have to prioritize on what I can do. Pick that up. Perfect. So yeah, I'm just going to have to prioritize. There's no way around it. I'm going to have to prioritize. Like, I know everyone's going to be like, oh my god, he has to prioritize. When you're in a clan tournament like this, and the stakes are this high, everything counts. Okay, we're screwed. Alright, good to know. Because they're faster than us by a long shot, which is neat. And everyone else is OP. Oh, cool. Just wonderful. I'm going to go to the other account, just check on what I can fix. Because that I have to focus on what I can fix. Then I got to go throw a multi-battle and just leave my episode on that multi-battle for that account until it runs out. Because literally, let's see. Okay, I completed it. completed all of the... So, what we're going to do, right, because I'm behind, I'm going to have to make space later. So what I'm going to do, and this is going to sound a little counterintuitive, we're going to check each faction war team on here, and then we're just going to set up a multi-battle of Force Keep and just leave it there and see what we get. That's literally going to be my plan because I have to go to the bathroom, I have to do other stuff besides this game, and I have to come up with a scheme to try to save face. So what I'm going to do, just going to have that, sit that there, set the whole thing, let it ride, and in the next episode, we are going to be going further, and I'm going to be leveling up Queen Eva, among other things, to try to save the situation.